Hello, oil enthusiasts. Hold on to your diffusers because it's about to get wild and fragrant in here. In today's episode, it is the last part of our 10-part mini series, all about the essential oils to have on hand for all of life's emergencies. And we saved the best for last. So don't forget to stick around to the end for the scoop of the day. Welcome to the Essential Oil Scoop, where we're all about sass, class, and a whole lot of plant-based fun. I'm your host, Vicky Labrilia, and I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Sarah Sipos. Together, we're going to be your guides to the world of essential oils. And trust us, there's no better team for the job. With my passion for natural wellness and Sarah's encyclopedia-like knowledge of essential oils and our sparkling wit and charm, we'll be diving into the world of essential oils, giving you all the tips, tricks, and the juicy scoop that you need to make the most of those potent plant extracts. Don't forget to share, like, save, subscribe, and follow our podcast so you get notified every time we upload a new episode. So grab your favorite oils and your favorite drink, put on your listening ears, and let's get ready to have some fun with essential oils. Hello, our amazing, powerful listeners. Welcome to today's episode. Sarah, good morning. How are you?
I am so good, Vicky. How are you doing?
Girl, I'm really excited about today's episode because we truly did save the best for last for the end of the 10-part series we just did.
I'm so excited. I love frankincense. It is the king of oils. It is the best. You really did. We have saved it for the best for last. I'm super excited about it. I mean, think about this. It's in the Bible. It was given to the Christ child when he was born. Mary was able to have this. There's so much There's so much surrounding frankincense. There's so much historical uses for frankincense. There's so much healing properties, both physically, emotionally, mentally. It's just one of these oils that you can use for everything, and it magnifies the benefits when you use it with other things. So it is like this amazing oil that it's like an immunostimulant. It's anti-inflammatory. Uh, Anti-carcinogenic. It's even restorative and has some antidepressant properties as well. So it's got some really kick butt properties in this oil. So I'm all in. I love it. Let's dig in.
Amen, girl. Frankincense essential oil benefits for the skin is just one of the amazing ways that you can use this oil. Like Sarah, girl, you just mentioned that it's an amplifier oil. And I love to touch on that because it is the king of oils. But when you pair frankincense essential oil with other essential oils, it allows those oils to even drive faster, to work better for you. And it is an amplifier oil. It allows the other oils to do an even better job. So, frankincense, as you know, and now we're going to educate our listeners right now, right? Frankincense is an essential oil you can take aromatically, topically, and internally. So, skin is obviously the epidermis of our body, right? It is the biggest organ of our body. And when we apply frankincense onto our skin, it is extremely nourishing. Like you just mentioned, it is a great anti-inflammatory. It's very restorative. Um, there's a lot of other words that are not coming to my brain right now, and I'm sure Sarah, you'll fill in my gaps. But I noticed whenever I have a wound, part of my wound care is incorporating frankincense essential oil into my body or onto my body. And fun fact, Correct X, it actually has frankincense in it, which is you know, basically like a neosporin. It's a antiseptic ointment that you can help put on your body to help your body heal. Sarah, do you want to talk about frankincense in a little bit?
So frankincense, we've used this a lot. It's one of my more favorite oils. It is, and I'm totally gonna be honest with people, it is a little bit more expensive. Why is it more expensive? Well, the way it's first of all, you know how frankincense is harvested? You know that? Do you know how it's harvested, Vicky? It's such a
Yes.
beautiful, like I don't know, there's so much symbolism with it, right? So let's
Hmm.
I'm gonna just touch a little bit on this for our listeners. So frankincense is actually what they do is they score the bark of the frankincense tree and they score it. And what happens is it's what the growers call weeping. And so the oil actually, the resin starts to weep out of the trees. And then they cut the resin after it dries, they cut it and then it gets sorted and they know based on clarity and color and cut and all that stuff. Sounds like I'm talking about a diamond, but it really is, right? Um, they know based on that what is good quality, and so then that becomes, distilled. They distill the resin from steam distillation and creates the oil of frankincense. And
Hmm.
so just think it's beautiful because what happens is they have this, I grew up around maple trees in upstate New York. So like this concept just blew my mind because it seeps out just like, kind of like maple syrup a little bit, but they wait for it to
Hmm.
dry and then cutting that. And there's so much symbolism. I mean, if we look back at Jesus Christ, right? And we think of like the atonement and things that he has done and that he bled for us. Like there's so much symbolism. And I just love that so much when we're talking about frankincense. It's like one of like, it just gets me. You can see how passionate and like I
Well,
love this
girl,
oil.
frankincense and myrrh, like it is a
Hmm.
biblical oil. It goes back thousands and thousands of years. And that the fact that we have found a way in our modern day society to extract without harming these beautiful trees, extract its essence and have it go through all of the distillation process, every single process that it takes to make up a bottle of frankincense. It is such a magnificent blessing. Girl, it takes a half a pound of the frankincense resin to create a 15 milliliter bottle of this beautiful, pure frankincense king of oils.
I love it. I love it. And we source our oils of frankincense specifically from Oman, Jordan, and from Somaliland, which is, I mean, there's so much we could talk about impact sourcing with that area, but we won't. We won't go into that right this second. But I promise you, this is going to be a podcast later because Vicky and I are super passionate about co-impact sourcing, about humanitarian aid, and all the things that go into that. And this oil has direct relations with co-impact sourcing and the idea of blessing so many people's lives beyond the bottle. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be a whole nother podcast, probably a whole series because that's the way we
It
are.
should. Girl, I agree.
So let's get back to talking about some of the things that frankincense does for people. Um, it really does help with brain health. It's really, really good for brain health. And I wish I could go into a lot more detail, but we have to be super compliant on that. But there is so much good things that comes from frankincense with brain health. So one of the things that I would suggest if you've got any kind of brain health issues that you want a healthier brain, just in general, having a healthier brain, you're going to want to apply this topically on the back of your neck, in the occipital area, which is where the base of your skull meets your neck, of your neck. So you're going to put it into that little triangle spot there. You're going to put it right there, and that's going to be a really good place to help support brain function. Also, one of the places I like to use, and remember, we are talking just about doTERRA essential oils. We do not talk about other oils. Um, I put a couple of drops under my tongue, especially if I'm having some head tension due to hormonal fluctuations. So that
Mhm.
is one of the best ways. Also putting it on the pad of my thumb and shoving it, putting a drop on there and putting it into my mouth from the top of my roof of my mouth and holding it there for a few seconds. That's another really great way to use it internally. But it is super, super good for um though like brain health and cellular health. This oil is amazing for cellular health, for
Yes, it is.
regeneration, um, for immune health. Like I won't go into too much detail, but suffice it to say, when my father had something that we were super concerned about, um, we used this and his doctors could not believe how fast we were clearing up. some of the things that he was dealing with. So, um, also really great for skin. We've kind of talked about some of the benefits that frankincense has for skin and but emotionally too. I mean, there's so much, and we're going to get into emotional another time, I'm sure. I know for a fact because we've already discussed this. So, hint,
Yes.
hint, out comes emotional later.
Can
Um,
we talk about that just for a
yeah,
microscopic second though? Because you were talking about brain health and emotions tie into our cognitive processes. Everything is connected. Okay. If you didn't know, now you know. Our whole body works in unison. And in society and in our daily lives, there are a lot of clogs and blocks. And frankincense is such a beautiful oil to incorporate in your life when you are on the struggle bus emotionally. I'm like Sarah in the way that I take frankincense internally every single day. And I do have a very awesome story to share with you about my husband's testimonial with using frankincense. Sarah just mentioned, we have to stay compliant, but you can fill in the gaps of where we're not talking about, right? So when you have a loved one or yourself and you are working through something that is of dis-ease, frankincense is a beautiful oil to turn to help your body be in ease. Okay. So I just wanted to give that little tidbit. But Sarah, take it away. Continue what you were saying, my friend.
there's so much like free. Like, what's your favorite saying?
When
Like,
in doubt,
say it.
frank it out. When in doubt, you frank it out because frankincense speaks to every single body system. It has the ability to do so. Yep.
There
That's what I love
is
to say.
She says that often, you guys. That's not even like some cutesy little phrase that I was like, "Oh, Vicky, let's make up." No, no, no. If you know her in person, she says this quite often when somebody says, "What should I use?" She will always tell you to use frankincense, and that's just because it does help at the cellular level. Like really, truly, this is an amazing oil that really helps at that cellular level. And like
Amen, girl.
it just like helps with everything because it goes into that cellular level. So whether you are looking at like maybe you've got some seasonal stuff going on, maybe you've got some can I say cough? We'll say cough. I'll say cough. I'll take the hit if I get in trouble for saying it. But when you go and you've got some stuff going on, this is a great oil to be using to support your body's immune system and to um, amplify other oils that you might be using, such as Breathe or On Guard or any of those other oils. It's a great oil to be using to just amplify, especially if you've got women's issues. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I just went for my annual this morning. I was just discussing it before we started to hit that record button with Vicky that I went in for my annual and like I'm so grateful that I have oils that support my body um so much.
Yes.
But yeah, for female issues,
It,
frankincense is a really great oil for some female issues. Um,
yes. You want to protect your girls. Okay. Let's be honest. If you are a female, we need to love and adore and protect and support our girls. Frankincense is one of those oils that I would highly recommend applying topically with some lotion at least twice a week. Okay. We should be doing our monthly exams on ourselves. Our breasts deserve that respect and honor, right? So, frankincense, like Sarah mentioned, and I've mentioned, it works on a cellular level. It wants to replicate proper cells. It wants to help our body do the work to thrive. So, would you agree, Sarah? Frankincense, I almost said peppermint. Frankincense is an oil that would highly invite every single woman to use. And you know what? Frankly, it's not just for women. Men could be applying this as well to support their upper body.
yes, yes, very much so. My husband's family has genetically things run in his family, and
Mm-hmm.
we are very careful about that kind of stuff. Also, though, not just for the female health of our pest, but let's talk about downstairs too. It's really going to help with female issues downstairs as well. So, yeah, I cannot explain enough to using this for for your menstruation cycle, for menstrual cramps, that type of thing. This is going to only help um, ease some of the discomfort that comes from that time of month.
Mhm. So if you don't take our word for it, you guys, PubMed is a great resource for you to go to help educate yourself on this beautiful essential oil that we are calling frankincense. Frankincense, as of 2017, had over 100 published studies about the benefit of frankincense. Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. It is there. Educate yourselves, my friends. Okay, because we want to keep these podcasts on the shorter side so you can watch it on your break. You can watch it while your kids are taking a little nap. Y'all are busy, same as us. We have two wonderful stories to share with you before we wrap up today's episode. So, Sarah, I would love for you to share your scoop of the day.
So, scoop of the day for me is Immortelle. I'm going to tell you a quick story about my nephew. Um, he is a sweetheart of a little guy. Well, especially during this time when the story takes place. Several years ago, our family was we have this tradition of family campouts every year in the mountains, and one of my little nephews was holding an like a popsicle thing, and he was standing by the fire. He fell into the fire with his hand, his a whole arm fell into the fire. Luckily, I say the popsicle part because this is like part of his miracle story. He fell into it, and the doctors say because he had had his hand clutched in a fist, he saved his fingers. So his fingers, he did not lose any fingers, but he was badly burned, and they took him to Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City, and
Mhm.
he was in the burn unit for several weeks and had
Wow.
to have skin grafts and multiple issues with this horrific, horrific burn. And I mean, there was a lot of little miracles that happened with his story. And we are so grateful for where he is today. Um, but through his healing process, the doctors actually asked them to start using some essential oils. The doctor actually told them to start using some oils for the scarring. They were concerned about the scarring. Obviously, with skin grafts, they were taking parts of his skin from his thighs and putting it onto his arms to skin graft. And one of the things that we used, we did a lot of research. My sister-in-law called me, my mother-in-law called me. We did a ton, ton of research. And I was researching, and all the oils that I was researching all came together in Immortelle. Um, Frankincense,
Wow.
rose, myrrh, all these amazing oils with fantastic properties for skin and helping the skin to reduce the appearance of scars and different things was in Immortelle. So what we would do is I would get him this Immortelle bottle of Immortelle, and I would add even more frankincense to it. And that was his roller bottle. And every time he had these compression sleeve that he had to wear on his arm
Mhm.
during all of this. And so he would put the oils on and they put his compression sleeve on. And every time I saw him, he would hold up his arm and he'd go, "Look, Aunt Sarah, look at my arm. It's getting better every day." And he was so excited, but you could see the difference. And his doctors were just like amazed. His burn unit doctors were amazed at the progress he was making. Um, that they hadn't seen very much progress. And his doctor asked my sister-in-law again, are you using some oils? And she said, yeah. And he goes, I can tell. So that's just kind of our
Wow.
anecdotal story. I don't know if that's going to work for everybody. I am not a doctor. This is like, where's my disclaimer here? I am not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice or anything like that. I'm just telling you an anecdotal story of what really worked for this little guy, and it just helped support his body so it could heal the way it needed to heal. But that's my kind of my scoop of the day with Immortelle, tying it in with frankincense. It's just it's one of those miracle stories, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah, Sarah, no, this is what our podcast is about, sharing our testimonials, real life stories on how these essential oils have helped support our bodies do the work. You guys, when we have options like this, pure natural options, our body uses them for the good. So I'll share my quick story before we wrap it up today. My husband, so I have an amazing husband. His name's Oliver. And I want to say 5 years ago, five, maybe even 6 years ago, he started losing a patch of hair on his head. And he was losing his hair. And then there was a lump that was forming and it looked like it was filled with something, pus or something, like it just did not look good. So my husband, he is such a handsome man. He has tattoos, okay? But you can't get him into the doctor to get a shot or your blood drawn. Like, no thanks. He would run for the door. So getting him into the doctor was a little challenging, but it got to a point where, okay, honey, you need to get this looked at. We don't know what this is. We need a medical professional. We go in, we see this specialist of some kind, and he says, okay, well, this is XYZ. Your only option is for me to make an X incision on your head, remove this growth, stitch you back up, but it may or may not return. My husband's like, thanks, no thanks. Okay, bye. That wasn't happening. They weren't going to cut his skull open, remove this, have needles in his head. Like, if you know my husband, you know he sure as heck was not going to have it. Okay, so what do? I want to support my husband. I want to help his body heal. So I went to my books, I went to my resources, and what was coming up? Frankincense. Frankincense this, frankincense that, use frankincense here, use it this way. These are all options. So I gave this option to my husband, and Oliver's like, yes, let's do this. I wish you could see my face right now. I wish you guys can understand the power it gave Oliver and I to know that we had this, what was a solution for him. So we applied frankincense multiple times a day topically onto his wound, whatever that growth was, right? I forget the name of it. And little by little, it started shrinking. Little by little, his hair started growing back till eventually the lump on his head was gone and is still gone to this day. His hair grew back and has not fallen out. He has not had any issues. It's like it never even happened. Now, from going from that one solution that doctor said was the only solution to do, and it could possibly grow back, to having this option and using frankincense, I am so damn grateful that we took the opportunity and invested in our wellness in this way. He is a firm believer. We all are, right? There's a place for modern medicine and everything in between. But I'm so glad that we tried and we used, and it's such a powerful story I wanted to share with you because frankincense is the king of oils, and using frankincense in this way saved my husband so much pain, so much discomfort, so much time. I will forever be grateful to the king of oils.
That's amazing. I don't think I've ever heard that story ever.
Yeah, it's been so long, and I used to share it all the time, and I guess as time went on, I just forgot to share it. And truthfully, like I totally forgot. I totally forgot until our this episode. But my friends, you can't make this stuff up. It is amazing.
That
Absolutely amazing.
is that is amazing. I love that. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Essential Oil Scoop. We hope you have found this discussion informative and helpful. If you have any questions or topics that you would like us to cover in future episodes, please leave us a comment or reach out to us on social media. Don't forget to like, share, save, subscribe, and follow our podcast so that you get notified every time we upload a new episode. Until next time, stay healthy, keep using your essential oils to enhance your wellness journey, and we will talk to you really soon. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Be well, my friends. Bye.